Namaste, yogis. Welcome to your practice. Welcome back to your mat. Congratulations for making it to your mat today. We will be doing about a 30-minute gentle flow together today. So grabbing your mat, having your water nearby, maybe any other props if you have them or you want them, pillows or maybe a block if you have it at your house. No worries if not. And let's just drop in together. So we'll be starting on our backs today, if that feels comfortable for you. And we'll come down on our backs with our feet planted flat in the earth with our arms out wide. And here we'll just allow our gaze to lower. We'll close our eyes. Allowing our spine to settle into the earth below us. We'll feel into the four corners of our feet, feeling our weight on our feet equally grounded throughout our toes and our heel. Feel our hip bones both rooted and supported and held in the earth. Bringing our awareness up our spine, just noticing any sensations of where you're feeling the earth underneath you. Allowing your body to sink in a little bit heavier, maybe like you imagined you're laying in sand and you allow yourself to sink a little bit deeper and wiggle in a little bit more. Feeling your shoulders heavy in the earth, arm bones heavy as your arms are out wide. Maybe you take your arms out a little bit wider and allow yourself to take up some more space. Feeling your head and neck fully released and supported on the earth. And then we'll begin to bring our awareness to our breath. So just noticing the natural cadence of the breath before doing anything to change or alter the breath. So just notice how your body is breathing you today. Noticing without judgment. Maybe you label if the breath feels short, you might say short, shallow. Maybe if it feels deep and long, you might say deep or long, and just labeling it for as it is now. And from this place of acceptance and awareness, we're able to begin to start deepening our breath. So we'll start to lengthen our inhalations and our exhalations by maybe just one more beat at the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale. So breathing through the nose here, if that's accessible for you. Feeling your breath carry its way down into your low belly and abdomen. And as you exhale, releasing as your belly and abdomen fall. Be engaging your core slightly at the end of your exhale to fully exhale all the air out of your belly. Breathing in more fresh air, more life energy into your body. Imagining every cell in your body becoming more nourished, more alive, more vital. Taking just two more, maybe your deepest breath today here. Maybe on your next inhalation, you breathe in, and then on your exhalation, you'll sigh it out. So breathing in and sighing it out, however that sounds for you. We'll bring our knees into our chest and give ourselves a hug, rocking side to side, allowing the low back to release, giving the abdomen a nice massage, supporting digestion. And we'll come into an easy twist. We'll plant our feet back on the ground, arms will be out wide, and we'll just gently bring our knees knocking down to one side. You might decide to look the opposite direction. Breathing into the side body here. If you have the space in your body, you could play around with placing your heel on top of your knee for a little extra hip flexor stretch on the top hip. Continuing with that deep and powerful breath. Allowing our breath to be an anchor for this present moment. Being present with our breath in our body. Here for 2 more breaths. Removing the heel if you place it on top, engaging through the core, and gently bringing our knees, dropping them to the opposite side, looking over, opposite shoulder if that feels accessible in your neck. Maybe playing around, placing the heel on the top of the lifted knee. Getting a good stretch through your hip flexors. Then we'll engage through our core, release our feet down to the earth, coming back to center. We'll interlace our fingertips behind our right hamstring, and we'll circle out our right ankle, bringing in some new fresh fluid to our ankle joint, switching directions with the ankle joint. Think about stretching out your toes like you're squishing the mud. If you like to, you could climb your hands up your leg a little bit more for a deeper stretch. And then we'll bring our hand to the outside of our right foot or our right shin, or we can also just bring our hands here. And we'll come into a half happy baby. This left foot can be out fully straight or it can stay bent. And here we're bending through the knee, bringing the knee just outside of the right rib cage. Again, being mindful of our breath. We're pulling our foot as we're equally kicking into our hand. Letting that go, returning both feet to center. We'll swish our hips side to side, internally and externally rotating through the hips, allowing the low back to release, going at your own pace. And then we'll interlace our fingertips behind our left hamstring and take our circles with our ankle. Feeling into all the different spaces here. Maybe slow down where it feels a little sticky. Thinking about spreading your toes out wide. Allowing for more movement in your feet. Again, you have the option to walk up your leg and find a deeper stretch here. Knowing that we're just starting out, so being gentle. Knowing your body, trusting your body's cues. And then we find our half happy baby on this side. So either finding a hold on your shin or on the outside or inside of your foot. And your right leg can be extended out long or also bent. Left knee comes right to the left side of the rib cage. And we're pulling our foot down towards the ground as we're kicking it slightly up towards the sky. Active opening here. And then we'll bring our knees both into our chest, give ourselves another hug, and walk side to side. We'll extend our legs up to the sky. We'll point our toes and take our legs out wide and down in front of us, keeping your knees bent if it feels like a lot for you, or option to keep your legs straight. So we're exhaling as our legs go out as wide as it feels comfortable on our hips. And we'll bring our legs together and up. Exhaling out. Inhaling together. We can bring our hands under our hips for more support. Exhaling out. Inhaling together. And then we'll reverse the direction here. So we'll inhale as we drop the legs, exhaling together, inhaling down, exhaling out and up, 2 more. And last one. Awesome, one last hug and rock. We'll place our hands behind our legs, roll on our spine, give us a spinal massage until we make our way up into a cat and cow position. So coming into your tabletop position, we'll inhale as we drop the belly, looking up at the sky. Exhale as we push through the hands, arch to the back, and look at the belly. Inhaling, dropping. Exhaling, rounding through the back, pushing through the palms. Moving with your own breath, inhaling and exhaling. And we'll move into a downward facing dog. So we tuck our toes and we'll walk our hands a little bit forward out of our tabletop position, pushing our hips up towards the sky. Feet are about hips width distance wide. Hands are about shoulder width distance wide. Also, really okay to have a bend in the knees. Heels do not need to be all the way flat. So allowing our spine to be long. So for instance, I could put my feet down, but my spine kind of gets a little bit more kinked up when I do that. So I might lift my heels and bend my knees a little bit more gently. That allows my spine to have more length to open, which is what we want here. Fingers are spread out wide, fingers are active, pushing the ground away from us as we bring our chest towards our shins. And then we'll reach the right hand back to the left shin and do a gentle twist. Looking under the left armpit. Bringing the right hand back to the ground. We'll reach our left hand back to our right shin, twist gently. Bringing both hands back. We'll push our hands and walk towards the back of our mat, coming into an easy forward fold. We'll grab opposite arms and gently fold opposite elbows, gently folding over our thighs here, bending through the knees so that your torso is able to rest on your thighs. You can sway side to side. And we'll place our hands on the floor and slowly, one vertebrae at a time, we'll roll up to stand. Reaching our arms up on our inhale and bringing our hands to heart center. I'm going to change the light. No, I'm not. Hopefully you can see me plenty. All right. On our next inhale, we'll reach our arms up to the sky. Exhale, we'll fold forward to the earth. Inhale, we'll halfway lift, placing our palms on our shins. Exhale, we'll walk our hands out forward to a high plank position. After we have our high plank, we'll slowly lower all the way down to the ground. You can use your knees or not. We'll inhale to cobra pose, hands are under the shoulders. Exhale, forward to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Upper back lifts. Exhale, forehead to the mat. Inhale, lifting up. Maybe you lift your palms off the ground. We're hugging in our triceps, our elbows towards each other. Tops of the feet are rooted in the earth. We're lifting up. Exhale down. We'll push ourselves back to a child's pose for a quick moment. Knees out wide, toes together. And we'll make our way back into our downward facing dog. Woohoo! All right. Right leg extends out long and high. I'm in a little tiny house here, so we get to play with the angles. We're stepping forward, and we're coming right into a warrior two. In our warrior two, our front toes are facing straight forward. Our back foot, the back edge of our foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Heel to arch alignment. We want our knees stacking generally above our ankle. Working towards a parallel front thigh. Arms jet out nice and long. Shoulders stacked over hips. Super strong here. A slight engagement, bringing your inner thighs towards each other to maintain some pelvic stability here. And looking over the front fingertips. And there's a gentle engagement through the glutes, right? So we're not just resting in the joints, we're really hugging the muscle to the bone. And we reach our fingertips forward. We come all the way back to reverse our warrior. Reaching up long, stretching through the right side ribs. Exhale, we bring our forearm to the top of our knee, coming into a side angle pose. So option to rest your forearm on your front knee, option to hold yourself up with your core, bringing your elbow to the inside of your knee. Breathing deep here. Engaging through the core. Feeling into the four corners of your feet. Cool. Inhale, reverse straightening out the front leg. And we'll exhale, diving back down to triangle pose. You might take your right hand onto your shin, onto your ankle, onto a block, or onto the earth, and left arm will reach up to the sky. If you have a tendency to hyperextend through your knee, gently having a gentle bend in the front knee. Gaze can come up to the top hand or look wherever feels easeful in the neck. Breathing into the opening sensations here. We'll bend through the front knee, coming back up to a warrior two. Here we're going to do our best to come into a half moon pose. So how we're going to do that is we'll gently bring our weight to our front foot, and we keep our hips open here, and we'll have one hand out. Really helpful to have something to hold on to here. And we're coming into an open hip balancing pose. So finding something to hold on to if you need to. We're coming into our floating half moon pose here. Lifting the top leg a little bit higher. And then we'll bring both feet to the top of our mat. Gently fold, taking a breath. Inhale, placing our hands on our shins with a long spine, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle sweep up the arms, bringing our right knee up. And we'll place our left hand on the outside and come into a twist here. Looking towards the back hand if that's in your practice. Returning to center, option to straighten the front leg as high as you can. And we'll bring our foot down to the earth. We'll come into a chair pose. Toes might be touching, knees together, lowering the hips. Breathing deep here, engaging through the glutes, checking in with our pelvic tilt. We don't want to be too rounded or too booty out, so just finding a natural tilt in the hips. And then we'll inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Long spine. Exhale, planting our hands, stepping back to a high plank, lowering to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog, top of the feet. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Staying here for 5 breaths. Just gonna check. Make sure. All right. Ready to go, yogis? All right, we're gonna go for the other side. So lifting our left foot straight up behind us. Our exhale, we place it forward. And we come into our warrior two position. I'm gonna move so I can face you. Arms are out wide. Finding a stance that feels long enough for you. Your knee is stacked over your front heel. Our heel to arch alignment. Back foot parallel or slightly, toes are rotated in. Our shoulders centered over our hips. Arms out strong. Gaze comes out over the front head. Can you sink a little bit deeper? Bringing your awareness into your feet, feeling the earth fully supporting you in this posture. Feeling a sense of stability, grounding. On our next inhale, we'll reach forward, coming into our reverse. Right hand slides down the back right thigh, opening through the left rib cage. Breathing deep into the intercostal muscles, allowing for deeper expansive breath capacity. And then we move into our side angle, placing our front forearm and our right arm reaches overhead. Option here to either keep the support of your forearm and your thigh connection, or bring your elbow to the inside of your thigh, allowing for a little bit more of an active variation. No one is better, right? Checking in with your body and what you're needing in this moment. Breathing deep. Staying connected to that grounded rootedness of the earth, holding you here. And we're gonna come back, pushing through the front foot, coming to reverse your warrior one last time. Straightening through the front leg. We'll come down to a triangle pose. Checking in with the front knee, making sure that it's not hyperextending, so giving it a gentle bend if it needs one. Arms shooting out from the shoulder sockets. You can find a placement for your hand, your left hand here, either on a block, on your shin, on your ankle. Opening through the hamstring and the hips. Keeping a long spine here. Knowing that it's not better or worse to use a prop or not, just really figuring out how we can support your body. So if your spine is feeling really curved and compressed in this posture, just find a way to either grab like a block or a stack of books or a water bottle to just help you prop up so you can allow a gentle opening. And we'll bend through the front leg, coming up back into our warrior two position. Staying there, we're gonna come into our half moon pose. I'm throwing this one at you guys. This is a little bit more of an advanced pose, but you got it. We're coming into our half moon pose, right leg stack, right hip stacking over left. We can flex the foot here to keep the engagement in the right glute. Totally a good opportunity to have a prop here. Right arm extending skyward. Maybe lift your left fingertips off the ground. Staying active through the right hip to lift you. One more deep breath here, you got it. And we'll step both feet to the front of the mat. Taking out the hips a little bit, side to side. We'll bring our toes apart and we'll just gently drop into a short malasana low squat. So totally fine if your heels are off the ground here. We're just coming into a low squat position. Good for your feet to be a little bit wider than the mat to allow your hips to sink deeper. And bring your hands together in front of you. If this is a hard position to maintain, you could put a little pillow under your bottom. You could roll up a blanket and put it under your heels. If it is difficult, I would recommend you start sitting in a low squat every day for, setting a timer even for 30 seconds. This is a really foundational pose just for overall joint health. And it really opens up quickly if you practice it every day. Seeing if you can sit up a little bit taller. And we'll bring our hands to the ground. Hips come up to the sky, wiggling our feet back to about hip width distance apart. We'll roll up to stand. And we'll take our twist on the other side. So we will lift our left knee up, reach our right hand across to the outside, and we're twisting, keeping our hips facing the front, reaching back. Front foot is active here. Option to bring your gaze towards your back hand. Returning to center, straightening out your front leg, engaging through your core, lifting it up as high as you can. Placing it on the ground, we'll exhale as we fold forward. Inhale as we halfway lift. Exhale, planting our hands, stepping back, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog, chest comes forward. Exhaling to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, you'll raise your right foot up towards the sky. Step it in between your feet, in between your hands. Raising your hands up, we'll come into a crescent position. On your exhale, we'll bend through the elbows as we dip the knee low and look up high. Inhale up. Exhale, dip. Inhale up. Exhale, dip. Inhale up. Exhale, dip. Inhaling up, we'll bring our hands down to the mat. Step our foot back, chaturanga, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Moving right into the other side, left foot raises up. Exhale, step in between your hands, coming into a high crescent. We'll exhale as we dip, bending the elbows, bringing them together. Inhaling, extend. Exhale, dip. Inhale, extend. Exhale, dip. Inhale, extend. Exhaling, bringing our hands back down to the mat. Chaturanga, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhaling into a child's pose, bringing the toes together, knees apart. We'll roll out onto our belly. And bringing our arms out by our side, we'll come into one Shalabhasana, locust pose. So we're lifting our chest, our arms, our legs off the ground, bringing our toes towards each other, engaging through the glutes, the back body. Gaze is a couple feet in front of you. Bringing your pinkies towards each other, engaging through the triceps. One more breath here, lifting up a little bit higher. And exhaling down. We'll bend through our knees, grabbing the tops of our feet, coming into a bow pose. Keeping our knees towards each other. We'll kick into our hands to lift our chest off the ground. Here for one more breath. Lifting a little bit higher. And exhaling, coming out onto the ground to release. You can bend your knees and windshield wiper your feet side to side. So push your hands onto the ground and we'll come into a dragonfly pose. So it's really nice to have a little bit of a lift for your hips here. So using maybe a rolled up blanket, putting it under your hips to allow your pelvic tilt to be a little bit more interior. We'll bring our legs out wide, not too wide that you need extra muscle engagement. So just finding a healthy width that feels good in your body. And we'll begin here, noticing if there's kind of a pulling sensation already. Staying here, that's totally fine. And if you have a little bit more room in your body, you might walk your hands forward a little bit more. Allowing the breath to slow down as the body slows down. Allowing the thoughts to slow down. Knowing that when we slow our body and our breath down, that our thoughts, the nature of the mind, will also begin to slow down. But sometimes when we slow down, we give us more space to be noticing our thoughts and giving us an invitation to allow the thoughts to just be passing by like clouds in the sky. Just seeing them go by. Slowly pushing into your hands, coming out of the pose. Using your hands to bring your legs together, giving yourself a hug. Allowing all of that stretch and that held posture, allowing everything to flow again, just resting here. And in your own time, we'll come into our Shavasana on our mat. So if you'd like to, finding a blanket and placing it over you, or a bolster, a heavy prop to put on your hips if you want a little bit more grounding sensation. Just taking up space on your mat, heels out wide, arms out wide. We'll be here just for a couple minutes before we close out class together. Allowing yourself the space to just be and feel held by the earth. Knowing that this is the space where a lot of the magic happens, just giving yourself these moments on your mat. Letting go of any practice and just allowing yourself to be here. Slowly beginning to wiggle your fingertips and your toes. Taking a deep breath, maybe take a full body, waking up stretch, reaching overhead. Rolling to one side, finding a little fetal position. Pushing your way up to a comfortable seat. Keeping your gaze down or your eyes closed. Coming into a crisscross or sitting on your knees. Bringing your hands together at your heart or placing your hands on your heart. Taking a moment to honor yourself, celebrate yourself for showing up on your mat today, for taking care of your vessel, your body, your soul, your spirit. Knowing that this is where it starts, the more love and peace that we find with ourselves, the more love and peace we're able to be in with others. Thank you so much for practicing today. I will see you again soon, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.